Hi, this is Terri. Welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is really a question for all of you, which is where are you going to be on election day and election night and the next day? In fact, what are your plans? Do you have plans? Have you even thought about this? Where are you going to be, Ray?
Where do you think I'm going to be? I'm going to be here because I can't really go anywhere else.
Now, your dad is planning on trying to find like Colbert or something like that in order to watch all of the results in a entertaining kind of way. Will you watch that with him, or are
Probably.
you? Because I think I'm going to be probably avoiding and probably doing one of these kind of things, peeking through my fingers because I'm going to be afraid of the results. And you might be wondering, how did this even come up as a topic? I've created a Silk and Sonder Circle, so I have a private Silk and Sonder Circle, and we get together to plan the month, the last weekend before the start of the new month, and then we also do a mid-month check-in. And in this month's mid-month check-in, we got to talking about it, and I hadn't really even thought about what I was going to be doing. I know where I was 4 years ago, and that was at a time when I could be out, and I was at a Sandhill Angels pitch event, and with my now good friend Susan Siriota, and we have both decided that we can never be in the same place, let alone the same state, during a big election night, because we both think that by doing that we majorly jinxed the election. I know, little overblown there, but I hadn't really thought about it. And so when we were talking about it, my friend Candace said, oh, I know what it was, because I asked if everybody wanted me to open up a Zoom room so that we could be there to support each other, talk each other through it, drink through the election results. And my friend Candace, who has 2 kids, said this is the first time that her kids are actually paying attention to the elections, and she wanted to use this as an opportunity to talk through the experience, through what was happening, and spend time with them. And so I guess you'll probably spend time with Dad. I don't know, do you want to talk through things? I mean, we've talked about it a little bit.
I don't know.
Because you're following what's going on.
Yeah.
Reluctantly or with interest?
More out of fear than anything else.
Yeah, me too.
Last year I wasn't really aware of the stakes. This year I am very well aware of the stakes.
Yeah, and I actually have to talk to your brother because I need to make sure that he does vote. I think he was planning on it. He should have his ballot, and I just need to make sure that he gets that mailed in from San Diego. So, one of the other things that we ended up talking about was how we didn't realize how, what the stakes were 4 years ago and the results of it. My friend Amy said she drove around the next day once they realized the results of the election, and she drove around with her daughter, and there was something very empowering about driving around, seeing other women, and I guess they did peace signs to other women as they were going around, driving around, and there was some sort of a camaraderie and a bonding that kind of happened between women that resulted in the marches. And we've seen over the last 4 years all sorts of different marches and protests, and one of the things that we talked about was we were wondering whether there's actually been an impact. Will we be seeing any sort of a change as a result of this election? After the 2016 election, I know that a lot of us who had felt complacent and thought that if we just did our duty of working, being involved in the community, paying our taxes, being good citizens, that everything would be all right. And a lot of us learned that that wasn't enough. And so we got more involved. My friend Laura ended up running for city council in San Carlos, and she's continuing to do good things in the community, and I'm hoping to support her on her other ambitions, and I hope that she goes even further in representing our community. We've seen a lot of people get a lot more active, and especially with the Get Out the Vote and various other protests. But is it enough? I mean, and that's going to be the question. I did put a poll out to Facebook to ask what other people are going to be doing, and the answers ranged. And actually, my friend Amy is already planning on taking a sick day the next day because she plans to be very hungover after consuming whatever, either in worry and celebration, although, how likely is it that we're actually going to know the results within a day or two, or even that night? And I'm optimistic that hopefully we'll have some indication of what's happening that night, but it may be a little bit before we find out the results. But the poll ranged, the poll responses ranged from being glued and scared shitless, as my friend Brian said. And his wife basically is like, yeah, I'm letting my husband watch stuff. I can't, so I need to be off doing something else. And I don't know if Zeke will necessarily be scared shitless, but I know he's going to be pretty nervous, and I'm going to want to get periodic updates, but I'm just going to have to find ways to be distracted.
I will be baking a lot.
Oh, good. I wish that we could actually go out into the community. This whole COVID thing is making it so that those of us who want to participate and go support people who are having to stand in very long lines, either providing them with chairs or snacks, water, anything to make it easier for those people who are paying, poll taxes because they're having to work really fucking hard in order to be able to get their vote counted. But with COVID, it's making it so that we have to choose between our safety of ourselves, the safety of our families, safety of our communities, and the safety of our democracy. And we've done Get Out the Vote. We've done postcards. We've done the landslide app, and I'll go ahead and put a link into that in order to encourage all of our friends to get out and vote and make sure that our votes are counted. But I see so many other people doing so much more, and I'm so proud of some Americans who are out there who are trying to protect people and their right to vote and their right to be counted. And so for all of you who are doing that, I have to say thank you. I was also impressed that somebody I went to high school with, Shannon, she has volunteered to work polls in Colorado. Thank you for doing that. I know Ray looked into working polls here in the Bay Area, and it was all full up. So
there was no need for any more poll workers.
So which is not surprising where we are, but I was very proud.
Considering the amount of people in my grade that I've heard talking about applying to work for polls and stuff.
I'm very proud of you for doing that.
I was a little late, unfortunately.
But next time we'll find some other way. So some of the other things. Somebody was going to be combination watching, avoiding, somebody else was going to try to have a normal night. A friend of mine is planning on going on a trail run and then drinking wine as she's watching and avoiding. And then somebody else I went to high school with is planning on voting in person, going about his normal day, watching some of the local coverage, and then the next day getting the news on his commute into work on AM radio. Talk about old school, but I guess there's no school like old school.
There's always a new school.
What's the new school?
No, you're saying there's no school like old school. It wouldn't be old school unless there was a new school to compare it to, which by definition would mean that there is a school.
Hold on, let me have some of my Aperol spritz that has no spritz, just champagne or sparkling and Aperol. My latest drink of choice. Anyway, so I'd like to know, what are you planning on doing? How are you planning on making it through? Are you planning on all the projects that I'm managing? I'm actually making the day after. I'm actually making both of those two days kind of non-work days. I'm expecting that people are going to be very, very distracted, and I want to allow for that. So wherever you're at, I was like, I thought you were wrapping it up, but you're just playing with a rubber band.
Yeah.
So while I look at my notes, let's do a quick check-in with Finn, and then we'll wrap it up. How's that? So what's new and exciting? Otherwise, can you at least show your new jewelry that you made?
Okay, so yesterday I went to Michael's and I picked up things for earrings. So I now I can make earrings out of whatever. And obviously, first things I did were a key.
Is that a key to anything?
No. And then the ace of spades. That's a key
to my P.O. box.
No, it isn't.
Okay. And then the ace of spades. Why the ace of spades?
Because why not?
Okay. And then you also ordered blue light glasses.
Yes, and my headaches have reduced immensely.
So, well, thank you for the check-in with Finn on your latest thing. And you also made macarons yesterday and today?
Yes. The yesterday ones were chocolate, and I didn't cook them long enough, so they're rather dense. And I am struggling not to say they were shitty.
I thought they were too sweet. I thought they were too chocolatey because I don't like chocolate.
And then today's are black tea with a honey buttercream that I'm going to make later.
Ooh, looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I failed to, thank you for the check-in with Finn. Back to our regularly scheduled program. One of the things that I failed to mention that I'm actually really concerned about is the political climate that is encouraged by the person that is currently in the White House in activating militia and people with guns who are going to potentially be at polls, intimidating people who are there trying to vote. I think this is absolutely atrocious and
it's bullshit.
It's bullshit, and I'm actually really concerned about people's safety, and I cannot believe that this is where we are at in 2020 in the United States.
Considering the events of the last 4 years, I can definitely believe this.
I mean, I say that kind of as a figure of speech, and it's just absolutely unacceptable. So, anyway, I'm continuing to try to maintain optimism through all of this. I feel like my life is on hold right now, waiting for 2 weeks from now when we find out which direction we're going. Are we going to have a democracy, or is our democracy dead? And then what do we do from there? And as a planner, this is incredibly uncomfortable. It's distracting. I keep talking to different people who are really struggling with staying focused, struggling to accomplish anything. Everybody's really tired. For a lot of people, last week was sheer hell. And I don't see that it's going to get any better in the next 2 weeks. So take care of yourself if you can. Be kind to others, those people who deserve it. Recognizing that we're all having a tough time dealing with everything that is going on. And I'm just sending out extra love to all of you. And why don't we just go ahead and do another giveaway just for the fun of it. So if you've made it this far, drop a comment, send me a note, and let me know how it is you're going to be spending the election night. If you're volunteering, if you are planning on avoiding stuff, if you're drinking, if you are doing, maybe all of the above. And
getting really fucked up with any sort of drugs and or alcohol.
Just do it safely. Just do it. But send me a message, send me a text, drop it in the comments, and what we are going to do is I've got some candles from let's see which candle company, from Elanwick Candles. These are super fun. This one's Pumpkin Overload. I have a couple of these. Ooh, it smells like pumpkin. Yeah, it's going to be a little hefty for you. So I've got a couple of those that I can give away. So
it's very strong.
Just if you put in a comment and you're in YouTube and your name is not your YouTube handle, can you at least tell me who you are so that if you win, I know who to send something to. So we'll just do a goodie. There's a bonfire flavor, a fragrance. There's some super fun ones, and Lonnie, who's the woman behind Elon Wick, she's absolutely delightful, and would love to. I think she's in Savannah. Anyway, somewhere in the South. Would absolutely love to support her. So with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Share this if you'd like. This one's a little drier than the last couple have been, but just know that I'm sending out some extra love and goodness to you. If you're voting for Trump, you can just fuck off so you can stop watching. Is that harsh enough? Oh, no. Speaking of which, I was asked to review this book, Move On, Motherfucker. So live, laugh, and let shit go. So maybe this is a good thing for me to read in the next 2 weeks. I guess this book is coming out and she's looking for authors to review. So I will be reading and reviewing that. And if it's really good, maybe we'll make it the November book club book. This month is The Pleasure Plan. And I'm only partially through that. And with that,
you already said thanks for watching.
I know I was about to. I was trying not to screw up the last part, which I always screw up. But thank you for pointing that out. Let go of perfection. Let go of perfection.
You already said that.
Take some risks.
You're gonna need to lean a lot further than that to reach me.
And above
she still didn't get me. Just for
yeah, no child abuse. See, did not hurt. It did not hurt Ray. And above all else, have some fun.